single person doubted me. Every single fighter doubted me. Doubt me now.
2 penalties that Liverpool had, were they fair decisions as you were right in front of them?
I don't know, I didn't see that. Obviously need to look if especially the second one from my point of view. I tried to actually put my arms and not trying to catch him, but it's up to the referee, so I don't have to agree, but at the end it was a penalty, so I can't really do much with it.
From to an interesting revelation from Sky Sports.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
To Newcastle readying with formal approach for defensive midfielder from Championship side.
Wow! Beautiful!
To Newcastle United having inquired about signing Chelsea star.
Perfect.
But first, let's hear what Eddie Howe had to say after losing to Liverpool last night.
Yeah, it was a lot happened, action-packed game. We're disappointed with the way we defended for especially the last 2 goals. The build-up to them, but I didn't think the second one was a penalty, and I thought Sean Longstaff's one was just before that.
Yeah, I asked Martin about some of the decisions, the 2 penalty decisions. He obviously was watching the ball and obviously can't comment on it as much. But as a manager, what can you say about that?
For me, that shouldn't be given. I think Martin's pulled his hand away. I think just has had 2 steps before he's gone down. So for me, it's not a penalty. Sean Longstaff's one was just before that incident. The first one, even the first one, I can see why it's given, but the contact was so minimal. So, yeah, we feel hard done by on those decisions.
Do you feel as well more hard done by because of the position that you're in too? Do you feel things are going against you in terms of what you've had to deal with this season?
I think it's difficult to say that. I think you have to have the mindset that you've got to create your luck yourself. Feeling hard done by or feeling negative emotions or sorry for yourself, it never has any positive outcome. So no, we'll look at ourselves as well and what we can improve. It wasn't a perfect performance from us. I thought the lads gave everything. I thought physically we committed to the game. Liverpool played very well.
You were dealing with a lot tonight, not just on the pitch, but the conditions, the weather and everything else. How much does that play a part? Because you were saying before the match you had to play in the most perfect way to get anything from Liverpool, but you can't sort of question that spirit and desire, even though the performance wasn't up to the level that you were expecting.
Yeah, I think the first thing we look for is commitment, effort, desire, representing the shirt, the badge, the city. I felt the players have done that, even through this run where we haven't got great results. The effort and commitment's been there, and I think firstly that has to be our standard. Then after that, I back the quality of the group. I know in time we will get the results that we need.
It's one of those, isn't it? You're in this bad time at the moment, but can you see a light at the end of the tunnel, as people would suggest?
Well, I can always see a light at the end of the tunnel if the players continue to give me everything that they've got, because I know we've got the quality. A lot of quality wasn't here today, a lot of players that weren't available for selection. That makes a difference. But the players that were here did give everything, and we know we can do better.
Talking other players, just finally, Kieran Trippier, groin injury, Callum Wilson, I think it's calf injury as well. So the length of time that they won't be available to you?
Unclear yet. I think, fingers crossed they won't be long.
Then, in other Newcastle United news, according to sources from Football Insider, Newcastle United is preparing to make a formal move for Blackburn Rovers' promising young talent, Rory Finneran. The 15-year-old defensive midfielder is highly regarded by Blackburn and has already represented the Republic of Ireland at the under-17 level. Newcastle scouts have been impressed with Finneran's performances at youth level, both for his club and country. Despite his young age, Finneran has been involved in first-team training with Blackburn and was even named on the bench for a recent match against Bristol City. He has been with Blackburn since the under-8 level and has been making progress in his development. Although Finneran has only made 1 start in Premier League 2 this season, he is a regular player for Blackburn at the under-18 level. Blackburn has a track record of nurturing young talents, as seen with the development of players like David Raya, now at Arsenal, and Ashley Phillips, now at Tottenham in recent years. The club also boasts several homegrown talents in their squad, including Adam Wharton, Scott Wharton, Hayden Carter, and Lewis Travis. Newcastle United, under their Saudi-backed ownership since 2021, has placed a strong emphasis on youth recruitment. Players like Sean Longstaff, Elliot Anderson, and Lewis Miley have emerged from their ranks, while the club has also made signings of promising young talents such as Trevin Sanusi, Yankuba Minta, Lewis Hall, and Tyno. The pursuit of Finneran aligns with Newcastle's strategy of investing in young players with potential. It remains to be seen how the negotiations and potential move will progress, but Newcastle's interest in Finneran reflects their ongoing commitment to youth development and recruitment. Then, in another transfer development, according to Ben Jacobs in his Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea column, Newcastle United has also reportedly inquired about the possibility of signing Andre Santos from Chelsea. Santos is considered a talented player at Chelsea, and it is surprising that he hasn't had more opportunities to showcase his abilities during his loan spell at Forest. Chelsea will likely be looking to determine the next step for the 19-year-old that will best facilitate his development and put him back on track. However, it is uncertain how likely it is for Santos to move to Newcastle, as his current loan deal with Nottingham Forest is expected to be terminated. Eddie Howe, the manager of Newcastle, already has several midfield options available, even with Sandro Tonali serving a suspension. Chelsea may be hesitant to send Santos to Newcastle if they want the young Brazilian to receive playing time after his loan experience at Forest. Despite this, Newcastle has shown interest in Santos, and it remains to be seen if they will pursue the transfer more aggressively in the coming weeks. Then moving on, according to Keith Downey, a Sky Sports reporter who covers Newcastle United, there has been an interesting revelation regarding Sven Botman, the Dutch defender. Downey conducted an interview with Botman, during which the player disclosed that he had torn his ACL ligaments without initially realizing it. Botman stated that he sustained the knee injury during a match against Brentford on September 16th. Surprisingly, he continued to play in 2 more games before the extent of the damage to his knee was discovered. Sven Botman, speaking to Sky Sport reporter Keith Downey, said, "I did my knee against Brentford, but then played 2 games after that, without realizing. It blew up the day after the Sheffield United game, and the scan showed some big damage in my knee. Some people, specialists, said it was a total rupture. Others said that it wasn't. So I have done everything to rest and avoid surgery. The operation would have kept me out for 9 months, but I'm back and feeling like my old self again, so it seems like I made the right choice." This revelation sheds light on Botman's determination and resilience to continue playing despite the injury. It also raises questions about the assessment and detection of injuries within the club's medical staff and highlights the potential risks associated with playing through such injuries. Talking about the medical staff, Newcastle United has officially announced the departure of head physiotherapist Danny Murphy from the club. Murphy joined Newcastle in October 2022, having previously worked at Charlton Athletic, England under-21s, West Ham United, and Crystal Palace in a consultant capacity. However, after an extended period of paternity leave, Murphy has decided to leave the club. A club statement released on Monday morning read, "Newcastle United can announce that head physiotherapist Danny Murphy has left the club after an extended period of paternity leave. The club would like to thank Danny for his hard work, professionalism, and development of the service during his 15 months with the first team, during which he has made a significant contribution to the club's success. We wish him and his family well for the future." Danny Murphy's departure from Newcastle United takes place in the context of an injury crisis at the club. During recent months, Newcastle has experienced a significant number of players being sidelined due to injuries. Despite the return of several players, including Callum Wilson, Sven Botman, Sean Longstaff, Dan Burn, Alexander Isak, and Joelinton, the club still has a list of injured players. Currently, Newcastle is dealing with injuries to Elliot Anderson, Joe Willock, Harvey Barnes, Nick Pope, Jacob Murphy, Matt Targett, and Javier Manquillo. The absence of these players has put strain on the squad and has likely impacted the team's performance on the field. It is worth noting that Murphy's appointment as head physiotherapist was made by Newcastle's sporting director, Dan Ashworth. Murphy and Ashworth had previously worked together during their time with England under-21s Ashworth, who previously held the position of Director of Elite Development at the Football Association, played a role in bringing Murphy to Newcastle. With Murphy's departure, Newcastle will need to address not only the vacancy in the head physiotherapist position, but also find solutions to their ongoing injury concerns. The club may explore options to strengthen their medical and sports science department to better manage and prevent injuries in the future.